Hi team. So a story. Yesterday I got asked a question, and the question was about what were my ideas for new ways of working. We've got a unique opportunity at the moment. What would I change? Why would I change it? And what impact would that have? And my answer to that question was along the lines of telling more stories, getting more real people's stories out there about what they're doing for work, for jobs, for professions and practice, and just the exciting things that they're doing, how they got there, how they're making it better, what they're doing, the impact they're having on themselves, their lives, the planet, the world, and just telling more of those stories and then taking a deeper dive into those stories. So that was my answer. And then I thought, well, come on, Trish, you actually got to do it. Put your money where your mouth is and actually start doing it. So I'm going to tell you a story today. And I'm going to tell you a story about the time that I asked 10 people between the ages of 22 and 90, if they were 18 again, would they do something different? Would they make a different choice? And here are the answers. So the 22-year-old, she started off as a vet. I went to vet school, smart lady, got qualified, went to get a job in vet school as a vet afterwards, and just found it didn't resonate. So she ended up being a maths teacher. Went back, retrained, studied, and became a high school maths teacher, which I think is pretty cool. The 90-year-old, now she actually wanted to be an accountant, but back in the day, it wasn't really a common option. So her options were sewing or cooking. So she chose sewing, became an amazing seamstress, but did actually end up doing accounts in a small business later on. So that was actually really cool. So smart cookie, smart lady. Another lady I asked, she wanted to be a speech therapist. But for various reasons, didn't end up being a speech therapist, went to, was a primary school teacher as well, instead. But she said, if I had my time again, that's what I really wanted to do, was be a speech therapist. She would have been a very good speech therapist. Another person, he wanted to be a boat builder. Wanted to be a boat builder, but became a financial secretary, which is kind of like a step down from an accountant. So it's not the sort of full-on accounting profession. So he got involved in finances, became a financial accountant in a business. Then actually changed completely and now runs his own business in a completely different field than either boat building or being an accountant, which is really interesting. Someone else, they trained as a high school teacher, a primary school teacher, but they actually were much better, or found themselves much more in office business settings, sort of accounts, not PA, but just that sort of executive support type roles. Found that teaching actually wasn't for them. So some people have gone from teaching out of teaching. Some people have gone from somewhere else into teaching, and a whole big exchange all over the place. Another person, he started off in sort of more adventure type sports and settings, then was in account management, and then later on, sort of about maybe 20 years into his working life, retrained as a builder, apprentice builder, which was quite interesting because then he brings a lot of experience to that from a sort of working life, not just doing building as an 18-year-old. So he retrained from account management, IT things, into being a builder. Someone else, they were a musician, and then they thought to themselves, I don't really want to be a full-time musician for the next period. I'd like to do something different. So they retrained in construction project management. They got the boat builder, and then someone else, they trained in psychology, got a psychology degree, and now they're a very clever writer, proofreader, content producer, doing a really good job of that. Myself, I actually started off as a musician, then did a lot of contract work, and now I've ended up networking and global improvement with all you fabulous people. And there was one person who cheated. Well, I say he cheated. So when I asked him, so that means so far we've got 90% change. 90% did change or wanted to change from what they originally did at 18 or when they left school. This person, he left school a year early. So he started off doing science degree, and then the next year changed to engineering. So I guess it's kind of a cheat because he left school a year early, and then by the time he was like aligned with where he would have been otherwise, he'd chosen engineering, and he actually stuck with engineering for his whole working life. So yeah, that's pretty cool, right? All those stories of people who've done things. And now what would be really interesting is to take a deeper dive into the dynamics and the context and the questions and go, how did you, why did you, what else would you choose? How could you inspire someone to make different choices themselves? Heaps of stories. I'm sure I've got heaps of stories. I'm sure you guys have got heaps of stories. And that's what it's all about. It's like, how can we create the world of work, careers, professions? Like, how can we create the space that we want to be in? And I think it's by telling all these stories, by inspiring each other, by listening to them and going, do you know what? I could do that. Or listening to how someone got there, going, okay, don't give up myself, even if it's a completely different context. And I think that's what's going to make amazing. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Cool. Till next time. See you. Bye.